But you can imagine, after all that happened, how wonderful it was to be the hero once again, to be actually needed. And I took on just about anything. I never said no, and I did everything with a smile. And to be honest, those first few weeks just felt like one big ego trip. But there were situations, even in those first few weeks, that made me think, that made me wonder, am I going about it the right way? And I had this thought that I am only as good as the last thing I did. If I felt the session had gone well, I thought, yeah, this job was really the right one for me. And when I felt it had gone bad, I would think, perhaps I'm not up to it. And I felt very responsible, because I'm the hero. When you are the hero, you are responsible for your successes and failures. So I'll just talk through several of those things. First one of these was, whenever a thesis student came up to me and asked, what is your area of expertise? I was worried. I got really uncomfortable because I'm a teaching fellow. I don't have a research track. I don't have an area of expertise. I teach anything but nothing I know really very much of. So when will they discover that they know more about this than I do? At the same time, Diederik Stapel, the psychologist who committed the fraud, he was my boss. He had been my boss a few years earlier. And when his scandal came out, because of the association, I thought, okay, he is a fraud. Am I a fraud? I remember my first bad mark that I had to give a student. She got a 12 on an essay, and before I told her what the mark was, she was all very nice and chatty. But as soon as I told her, she just looked at me, and I could see that she just hated me. And I thought, oh dear, is it my fault? I am responsible for putting the knowledge into her head. So the fact that it hasn't come out, is that my fault? And something else I did, a live experiment during a lecture. I'm now saying that or at the time I said it paid off, because I got them quiet again afterwards. They were very excited, and I actually found an effect that I didn't expect during that lecture. So I said it paid off, but how do I know that it paid off? I got an email a little while later from a group of level 2 students, and they said, because I'd asked them to give their opinion on an experiment that I was running, and they said, first of all, let us thank you for actually giving students the opportunity to voice their opinions. It really means a lot in a world where authority and status sometimes creates a barrier between the ones who teach and the ones who are taught. And if we're to make this whole university experience a better one for everyone, such interaction is invaluable. And I thought, yeah, that is something to hold on to. I really feel I've done something well there. However, a few weeks later, I had a appraisal meeting with my boss, and he said something to the extent of, we didn't hire you for your teaching skills, nice as they may be. Anyone can teach, but admin, that's what not everyone can do. And so I had this strange feeling in my mind. On the one hand, what I do matters for the students and for my personal sake, but the university couldn't give a toss what I'm doing. In the series to come, I shall be thinking deeper because of what I've learned in the PG Cert course so far. I'm going to talk about How is my teaching motivation related to the way that I believe students learn? Looking back, not just at the time, but looking back with hindsight, was I an effective educator at 3 years? And how have I changed the way I teach since the PT Cert course? What is my next step in my professional development? So these and more things are all to come. Thank you for watching.